blowing is hard, bro. I couldn't do it. Yeah.
It's buzzing, actually.
I think I went to the wrong class.
Oh, buzzing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Look mad.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of An Interesting Discussion Sometimes. Today, I'm back with the regular boys. That's Harsha, Haran, and Christian, and obviously myself, Tarun. And today we have a very special guest, someone that I met a couple months ago that's been such a great person. Guzzy, do you want to introduce yourself to the podcast?
That's so sweet. Wow. I wish I could say the same thing. Just kidding.
Let's go.
Just kidding. But yeah, it's so nice to meet everyone. Some of the guys I've met you guys, except Christian, who I'm meeting now. Awesome. But yeah, my name is Gazelle, or Guzzy, as everyone calls me. Raised in LA, born in Uzbekistan. Third culture kid, kind of ish. I don't even know at this point. But yeah. Went to USC. Now I'm working here. Just moved to New York. Started a new job. So it's been a crazy time. Who would have thought that being on a podcast would be on my bingo card after moving to New York? But here we are, I guess.
Let's go cross that shit off after this. But yeah, great introduction. I feel like you hit on all the things that we had laid out for today's podcast. Starting with, your roots in Uzbekistan. I think I can speak for all of us here in that we don't know a ton about Uzbekistan. So you were born there. Like, how long did you stay there? What's it like? Like, what's the culture like? All that stuff. I would love to hear about it.
All good. Well, you guys wouldn't be the first ones to say that you don't really know much about it. In fact, my entire life, at least in the United States, every time I've mentioned Uzbekistan, they've either given me one of two responses. So the first one was either, "Oh, I've never heard of that country. Like, so interesting. Tell me more." Or they would come back and they'll be like, do a little double take, and they'll be like, "Oh, you mean Pakistan, right?"
Yeah.
Which, that's a whole other story that we are so tired of talking about all the time, I'm sure. But, it is what it is. But it's a way, I'm proud of my culture. So I'm okay with explaining to people, educating, because you have East Asia, you have South Asia, you have the Middle East, but everyone forgets about Central Asia. And, we're the mighty stands, part of the stands.
Mighty stands.
Happy to rep it,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I actually was, so I was born in Uzbekistan. And when I was about 6 years old, my dad entered us in the green card lottery, and we won somehow. And then we moved over here, moved over in the middle of February to none other than Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Which is...
That's quite the introduction.
The best idea, right? When you're moving to a whole new country, don't know the language, don't know the people. Let's add in a blizzard on top of it and see how you do. But I give a lot of props to my parents for being able to make that giant change so quickly. And then to go, not even to the city of Chicago, it was in the suburbs of cornfields. And it was very scary, at least for both my parents. So I commend them for that. In fact, I was actually back there, I think it was not this past winter, but the winter prior to that. And I went back, and I don't know if it was PTSD or what, but I finally saw what my parents had gone through during that time. Yeah. It was kind of crazy because as a child, I knew nothing. I was happy-go-lucky. I was like, oh, gee, snow, fun, new languages, new schools, yay. But this was a whole other ball game, seeing the struggle from their eyes, as an adult. It's completely different. But moved from there. I only stayed there for about a year and a half. And then we moved over to sunny California, where I lived in Santa Barbara, and then moved over to the Valley in LA. And I was raised there. Went to school there, ended up staying in LA, stayed at USC. That's where I met Neha, who is Ajay's girlfriend, who was Ajay, who's, I'm sure if you listen to the podcast, this award-winning podcast, that, as Ajay says it, you would remember Ajay. And so it's been great time. Love America. Love being an American.
Yeah.
At least that's what all my family in Uzbekistan calls me, is the American girl.
Oh, yeah. I think we all get the same, except for Christian.
Yeah. I'm just the guy.
Do you remember anything about living there until you were 6?
I think I say yes, but I feel like, and I'm sure you guys also feel the same way. Like when you're told about your childhood, you're like, yeah, I totally lived it. But you only really remember it through like photos or videos that you had. Yeah. And then you remember like being in that moment. Yeah. But I do remember certain parts of it. I think what really helps is that I've been back in Uzbekistan maybe like 4 or 5 times since then. And it's helped. It still feels weird though when I go back. It feels like time stops and I'm like in a dream. Yeah. But I don't know if you guys have like similar experiences. I'm not sure if any of you guys like have like, I mean, if you guys are born and raised here.
Ehran, you got a great story, bro.
I don't know if great is the way to introduce it. I was born in Singapore. This has been on the podcast many times, but essentially I was born in Singapore and I moved here when I was 2. In Singapore, if you're a male, you have to do army service for 2 years. Yeah. When you're 18, I did not do that, and therefore I can't go back. So I used to go back a lot when I was younger. I'd go back every 2 years. Through my mom's work, like they would like pay for us to go back essentially, which was pretty nice.
Crazy.
Yeah. You can't even visit?
No, yeah, I can't go back. I would probably go to jail.
He's an international criminal.
Yeah, I'm a fugitive.
Like actually,
yeah.
Okay.
But don't worry, he's sending a letter.
Yeah.
It's like, please let me back.
Yeah, I mean, we talked to like not a family friend, but someone that knew another person that like wrote a letter and managed to convince the government otherwise. But I think it gets a case by case situation. So we thought we'd plead our case and we'll see what happens. But that has been stalled. I need to send that letter. My mom is telling me to do something, but she hasn't told me exactly what to do yet. So anyway, that's not relevant. But yeah,
dude, that's good, man. That means you still have time to put the Spotify link on there, bro.
Well, what's that?
For the podcast.
I thought he was like trying to become like an underground rapper and put his on Spotify. He's like, "Hey, Singapore government, are you gonna?" Like maybe this will entice you.
Yeah,
let me back in.
I bring so much value to this country.
Actually, you shouldn't add it because if you add the link to your letter, they're definitely not letting you back in that fucking country.
Yeah. But I feel like Harsha was the one of us that went back to our home country most recently. So
yeah, I went to India last summer, and that was my first time in like 9 years or so. So it's changed a lot. So what I imagined I knew about it, and then when I went back this time, it's like completely different. It's nice to go back, but I do feel that like you just feel like your world here is just on pause, and when you come back, you're like, oh,
like you feel like an outsider.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like you look the same, but then you're like, wait, something's.
Yeah,
something's off.
Yeah, definitely. When you're in India, they could definitely tell. At least for me, because I don't even speak like the language that well. Like they could just look at you and be like, "Yeah, you're not even from here." Yeah, it's kind of crazy actually.
Yeah,
but it's probably also the clothes, right?
I guess it's the clothes. It's also my parents too. They can tell my parents like came or like not.
Oh yeah, Harsha's too drippy for India.
I don't know about that.
What did you wear in India, Harsha? Or should you wear like a Nike shirt that said like "Pass me the rock" or something?
No, that was the
"Pass me the rock." That's freshman year high school, Harsha.
Yeah, that was actually the last time I went to India, right? Yeah, that was my previous India trip. Was all like,
oh, crazy.
Give me the rock, too hot to handle, Mr. Clutch, just do those shirts. Yeah, just do it.
And your matching elites, did you leave those in India? Yeah. That's hella funny.
What language do they speak in Uzbekistan? Sorry, it's kind of just a random transition.
I'll good. So here's a little brief history lesson. So Uzbekistan for quite a bit of time, I think since the 40s, 30s or something, until the 1991 was part of Soviet rule. And so it was part of one of the satellite countries. Every single person spoke Russian. Religion was like banned during that time. And everyone was like mandated to speak Russian. But at the same time, people were also speaking Uzbek. So even if you talk to people now who were raised like, for example, me, I was born in the late 90s after like the fall of the Soviet Union. I was still raised in a bilingual home prior to even coming to the United States. So we spoke Russian and Uzbek in the home, which is like a double-edged sword in and of itself, because by the time I moved here, I was still like learning Uzbek and Russian, and then we added on English, and I was already mixing both of those other two languages together.
Right.
So add in the third, and at this point, my family, and I'm sure a lot of other like Uzbek Americans who are here have their own like language where you just mix everything in one, which is why it's a hard time. Like when I was in Uzbekistan, I barely tried to speak because they knew the moment I opened up my mouth, they'd be like, "What language is she talking about?" Like,
she made up a whole language.
Literally, every time my cousins in Uzbekistan have already like adopted some of the like words that I've said because they're just so funny. They become like part of the vernacular. So I would start a word that has like that would be in English or in Uzbek, and then it would have like a Russian suffix. And then once I moved here, it would have English in it as well. So when I went back, it was funny because my aunt actually came and visited us back when I was living in Chicago, and I was talking with her, and I was like, we were talking about like chips or dip or something like that, and I was like, oh, like you have to like, and then for those listening who understand Russian, I would say like, oh, you need to like dipovits, which essentially translates to you need to dip it, but like it's the word dip and then the suffix in Russian that was like connected in one, and it's become like an actual word. And I feel like people now in Uzbekistan in general say that. Or maybe it's just me.
So you're starting a trend. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, let's start a new language.
They're speaking Gazanese, bro. Gazanese.
I would love that to happen. I think that would be really funny.
No, that's cool. I think, at least in my house, it's not necessarily to that extent, but there's a lot of things where my parents will speak like a Telugu sentence, and like in between it'll just be like two English words.
Yeah.
They won't necessarily
like code
be combined,
switch, right?
Yeah, but it's just funny. Yeah, we just call it like Tanglish. And sometimes, like if we're watching like a Hindi movie, like a Bollywood movie, it'll be like Tanglish with Hindi, and it's like what's going on here. But yeah,
I mean, it's the same thing with like Spanglish, Konglish, all the issues.
Yeah.
Is there a big Uzbek community in the States that you've like gotten to know since you've been here? Or
not in
really?
California.
Okay.
We barely know maybe like 2 to like 5 families in California, and then the biggest population though that's in the United States is actually here in New York. Most of them live in Queens and Brooklyn, but like deep Brooklyn. There's a really big community there, which is actually really nice. I've been able to, for the first time, like actually go to an Uzbek grocery store here.
That's so cool. Yeah, damn.
Which I never got to do in LA. I can't. There's certain foods that like you have to go to like a professional to like eat. So like there's our national dishes, plov, or like rice pilaf, and that needs to be done either like someone in your family or like at a really nice restaurant. California has none of that, but here is possible. Or like we have something called samsa, which is similar to like samosas because it's made in like a tandoori oven, but it's like filled with like lamb and like onions, and it's like usually a thicker kind of dough that's like put in the oven. It's really, really good. But you can't make that. Like I never found that in LA.
Right.
Yeah. Right. But here it's really good.
No, that's hella hype.
They got some good spots in Queens.
Yeah. So yeah, after Chicago, you moved to SoCal, I think.
Yeah,
right?
I lived in Santa Barbara for a little bit. Yeah.
Did you live in Calabasas at any point?
Yes. Yeah, that after Santa Barbara moved to Calabasas, and that's where
okay. Can you compare the two? Or give an explanation why you're saying Calabasas with that that expression?
Well, I'm sure you know. I feel like there's a connotation, especially now, given the popularity of a certain family or multiple families now. I'm talking Kardashians.
Oh, wait, that where the Kardashians are from?
Yeah. Well,
That's where they
Yeah, a
live.
lot of them lived there before moving over to like some of the other more quote unquote high income neighborhoods,
Mhm.
like Hidden Hills. Like that's like technically not even a city. It's like a little section within that neighborhood that's
Yeah.
like just like giant ass homes in a
Yeah.
gated community.
Mhm.
The thing is, there's so much like media attention on the word like Calabasas. Like you hear
Yeah.
Kanye, Jay-Z, all these people
Mhm.
talking about Calabasas. But when you come there, I had people like my friends, I had Neha come too, and she was like, oh, this is just a boring suburb. Everything closes at 9.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing to do. It's probably it's more poppin' in like OC area, Pacific Palisades. Like
Mhm.
there are way better neighborhoods, like suburbs out there than Calabasas. Trust me, like you're wasting your time. The
Mhm.
only appeal is that like a lot of like either high profile celebrities or rich people are able to live in like a private neighborhood because there are like gated communities
Right.
everywhere.
Mhm.
But that's about it, really. And I'm not part of those. So
Mm.
stay humble.
Stay humble.
It was all around like very typical experience. Like
Mm.
very chill.
Did you ever see anybody famous though?
I did. Yeah.
Who?
Oh.
Tell us.
When I was younger, we were all obsessed with. Do you guys remember America's Funniest Home Videos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
course.
Remember
Yeah.
Tom Bergeron or some? I think that's
Yeah.
his name.
Yeah.
He was like the host.
Yeah.
He used to live in Calabasas, and there's this like plaza there called the Calabasas Commons, and we would see them. We would see him there all the time. Yeah,
Why?
and it was, I mean, he was just around.
Oh.
I don't know. Yeah, and then I would see like Willow Smith there a lot.
Oh.
I
crazy.
had this funny story where I like diss on Jaden and Kylie because
Mhm.
I like saw them there in the neighborhood. But yeah, they're not my favorite people.
Oh.
But I have a story. So back when I was in high school,
Mhm.
I was a part of this like organization as like an after school thing where it was like a service thing, you know, where you raise money, do random things. And this one was for an organization that like raised money for burn victims in India. And every Saturday, a lot of these groups would go to the farmers market in Calabasas and would have some kind of either like was it bake sale or something along the lines of that. And so one of the weekends we were doing that, and you know we try to make it accessible. We were like, just donate and then you can have baked goods. And this was during a time, this was Kylie pre-lip. So this was her
Like a big arrow.
in high school as well, yeah. Pre-lip, pre-injections, all that kind of stuff. I think during that time, I'm not sure if she was dating Jaden or I really
Did
don't
they
know.
date? I did not know that. That's
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
crazy, bro.
Me neither.
You should look up a photo of them coming out of like a movie theater where like his face is just covered in like white powder. But it's like her,
Oh my
it's like
God.
her makeup.
Oh, he never says never.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this was during the time that they were dating. It was really funny.
Yeah.
But so I was like, you know, trying to sell. It was a nice, you know, Saturday morning. And they come by. It's like her, Jaden, and Moises Arias, who is like a friend
Oh,
of the
yeah,
Smith
yeah.
family.
Wait,
The
is
Hannah
that the
Montana fucker.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
Rico.
short guy, right?
Rico,
Yeah,
bro.
Rico.
Rico, yeah.
Crazy.
Fun fact, if you guys know the artist Teo, he is actually Moises Arias's younger brother, I believe. Either younger or older
shit,
brother.
really?
Yeah, younger brother. Yeah.
Damn.
And so, yeah, fun fact. Anyway, so they come by and Jaden comes by and he's like, oh, those look really good. He's like pointing to like some cookies or something. And I'm like, I look it over him and like I mirror him. I'm like, okay, then donate. And he's like, nah. And then he walked away. Which like, you got $2. Like you could just donate a little bit. This is for burn victims. Like, come on. Like this is. At
Were you
this point, it's
starstruck
like
at
a
all
hate
when you saw
crime.
them, or no?
No. They're just like whatever. Moises Loki looked like he was like homeless, but yeah, 'cause, like his hair was like dirty, and he was wearing the like one of those poncho like you know like
Yeah.
I remember we called them like weed ponchos or something, stoner ponchos. Yeah,
Dude, I remember seeing a picture of Moises Arias like recently or like in the last year or so. Like he looks whack as shit, bro. Like,
did he ever
He's
look
doing
that
a
good
lot of
though?
good
no, he never looked good, but like I thought maybe he'd be like he looks really unhealthy. Is what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, I guess I've only seen him in the show, so I haven't seen him like what he is off camera. So.
yeah.
I mean, him and his brother are doing a lot of really cool stuff. Like they're doing music videos, short films, that kind of stuff.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
I don't know why I know this. It's kind of weird.
You're just so into pop culture, right?
I do love pop culture. I love music. I think that's why there's like that connection.
Mm-hmm. Did Kylie say anything, or was she just like, okay?
She
Jada,
like
let's go?
looked over and she like did a little like scoff and then walked away. And I was like, I was like, I will remember this for the rest of my life, and I will hold it against you.
You give me all the ammo,
anytime
honey.
somebody mentions you. But
Yeah, I guess to them it's like, why buy a cookie when they could just have their private chef make them one, right?
But this wasn't even like a...
Yeah, we could have also just donated without getting anything back,
Exactly.
just for the cause because they have the money.
Hey, but Jaden gave out water and stuff. You know, he was probably giving out water.
God,
at
you're
that
such a
point.
Jaden fan.
Dick rider.
Yeah,
Not
god
a
damn.
dick rider.
Yeah, you all you talk about Jaden when in college, bro. All you literally just love with
Oh,
Dude,
Jaden.
it's
really?
just
Did
water,
you like him?
okay?
No, he was like, oh, Sire, GOAT album.
I did think it was a good album, man. But I
Do you listen to Icon a lot? Is that why? Like,
Yeah,
No.
you'd always every time we're at a party to play Icon. Yeah, fucking he loves that beat in that song.
Yeah, I know that's false because I said play Fireflies instead. You fucking did.
Maybe he didn't have any change, and he had a
I don't
$100
know.
bill. Maybe they only have $100 bills.
Dude, why being an apologist?
Bro,
No, I'm just wondering.
Why
You're just
are
like
we-
Tarun,
why
man.
are
You're
we,
just
like-
oh my god.
bro, this is
Finding
1%
excuses for
propaganda,
them.
bro.
Yeah. You know, this is what happens a lot.
Honestly, yeah, Jaden's had it rough.
Has he? I feel like his dad has had it rough, worse.
Did you see Pursuit of Happiness? He had a really rough really
What
sad
about,
stuff.
what is it, Karate Kid?
Karate Kid? Yeah.
Yeah, he had to move to
Yeah,
China.
in that movie, he was being bullied. So
Cool.
He just carried it over when he.
he's like,
He just changed his whole life story.
Aren't you just saying this stuff because he hates charity?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
I didn't know we were going public with it, but okay.
Harsha,
Oh, is
if
this a
I,
known fact, Harsha?
this is a
this news to me.
Harsha, if I give you the option, right? Give you $100 and give you $100 in charity, which one are you picking? Be honest.
Charity, man. I don't need your money.
Damn.
Oh, you're Trun's giving me the money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel
Oh,
like that's a
I'm
bigger
making Trun
reason.
give me the money. But
Yeah,
I'm
I feel like it's a bigger reason. What if LeBron gave you?
Okay, move on. Have there been any like more positive celebrity interactions that you've gone
Yeah,
through?
I actually really like Willow. I've passed by her like a few times and she's always like smiled.
She whipping her hair back and
I mean,
forth and
I
shit?
wouldn't say I had like positive experiences. They were just kind of like, I'll see them around. I think
Yeah.
I think most recently I was at the Commons and Sylvester Stallone and his family walked by and
Holy
it was
shit!
just
I
kind
would have
of a
lost
thing.
it.
Whoa. What does
Yeah.
Rocky do to you, man?
Dude, Rocky, he's a fucking legend. That's what he do to
I
me.
mean,
Bro.
yeah,
I love that guy.
but like, you could just go to the statue, bro. It's okay.
That's true.
Did he die in Creed? Is that a spoiler?
I didn't see the latest Creed, bro. Wait, no, he didn't die in the last one though. So
I don't know if... Okay, that's fine.
he's not even in the new one. He's not even in the new one, right? That's
Yeah,
what-
Michael
he's
B.
not.
Jordan took over, but I didn't know if he... Because I remember the first one, he had, like, Sylvester Stallone had cancer, but I didn't know if he...
No, I don't think they killed him off in Creed 2, and they just didn't mention him in this new movie.
yeah, like the last one was like the Creed 2 was like his final one. Pretty sure.
Because he has beef with the people that made Creed,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Oh wow.
Fair.
You know what? I'll make a confession. I've actually never seen Rocky or any of those movies, but I have seen Spy Kids,
Yeah, that makes up for
and
it.
he
It's
was
fine.
in it.
That's true. He was.
Wait, who was he in Spy Kids? Am I
I
tripping?
think it was it the third one? He was the toy maker or something like that.
I think I
Oh,
remember
shit.
like very
Yeah.
little, but yeah, he was definitely in it.
And the Expendables.
Yeah, Expendables. Yeah, Expendables is it's funny. You should
yeah.
watch. You should watch Rocky. I can't believe you haven't seen any of them.
I should. There's a few classics that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, fair.
This is completely unrelated, but I don't know why, but Spy Kids reminded me of Shark Boy and Lava Girl. And I remember
Like you mean
that...
Fever Dream movies?
Yeah. And I remember that George Lopez was like the fucking like electric robot
the
guy.
TV?
Yeah.
It was Mr.
That's actually
TV.
hella sus, dog.
No, great
hella
role,
sus.
honestly.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, amazing. You know, we're living it now with like AI. You know, it's just ahead of its time.
Imagine like the face of AI is just George Lopez.
Oh God.
Anytime he walks around, you just hear like his theme music, like bam, 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 bam.
You just get here. What was it? What instrument is that? Like some kind of drum, like the conga or whatever.
Yeah.
Starts for.
Man.
Do you guys remember waking up at like 2 a.m?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
George Lopez is going
Nick
on.
at Night,
Like,
Nick at Night, Jordan.
Nick at
That's
Night, man. It's different.
We're on such random tangents this
Yeah.
episode.
Hey, man.
I'm trying to bring it back.
Late 90s kids things, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, celebrities, they're a common thing in Calabasas. It's just, I think it's an unspoken rule. You just let them,
Let them
live their
be.
life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, like I feel like I would freak out. I'm saying this now, but when I'm like there in person, I wouldn't want to do anything because I wouldn't want to like intrude on them.
Yeah. Oh my God. I just remembered a really cool experience. Back when I was like in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
I was also, all these interactions are at the comments actually. So if you guys want to go to like a celebrity seeing, don't go to LA, don't go to like Hollywood Boulevard. You got to go to the Calabasas Commons. So shout out to that. But when I was in, I think middle school, I was at the Rite Aid there, and I was there with my mom, and this was my only like fangirl moment. I was there in like the card aisle. And I turn over and I look to the side and I see Ali and AJ were looking for a card for their mom's birthday. And they're like, I think this one will be good. And I freaked out and I looked over at my mom. I was like, Mom, do you know who those are? And she's like, no. I'm like, that's Ali and AJ. And I freaked out. But then I didn't say anything. And then they left.
Aww.
And they got a card for their mom. And that was it. And that's all I remember of them. But that was my fangirl moment.
It is interesting to think about these, like, I guess, like, people who are famous, like, very famous at one point, doing, like, very mundane things, like buying a card.
Buying cards for their mom,
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Celebrities, they're just like us.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. But I heard Ali and AJ, they don't know how to salsa dance. Did you hear that as well?
What a great segue.
But guess who does know?
They get better every week, man. That's great.
Wow.
Yeah. Tell us about this.
Ali and AJ salsa dancing?
Yeah,
I could
that's
totally talk about that. We're
Yeah, like
best
right
friends.
when they found the card, they were like, "Oh, let's dance, guys."
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, you look like a girl who could dance salsa.
Yeah.
Like, can you come and hang out with us? We're actually best friends. But yes, as Tarun beautifully segued into this conversation, Neha and I actually, me, Summon, and our other friend Megan and a bunch of other friends joined the Latin fusion dance team back at USC. Shout out to Break On 2. It was a great time. Yeah, and we learned how to salsa dance. We learned how to bachata. We danced some cha-cha, a lot of different dances. But I'm team bachata through and through. But yeah, kind of like grew a love for dance in that team. It was really fun. I think that was like probably one of the biggest highlights of my college like time. Because it was fun. You guys should do it sometimes. I think it's like the best thing for anyone, but especially guys. Like, you want to boost your confidence. You want to get the ladies. You got to learn how to dance, man.
Hey, for Harsh's wedding, man, I counted out. I have 5 dance practices this week, bro. Like, this man's running me into the ground.
Yeah, bro.
I'm excited to see y'all dance or like see the videos.
We need the practice.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah, when we went to when me and Christian were in New York, we went to Verlaine, I think is the name of the bar in New York, and it was like a salsa night, but I don't even know what kind of dance it was. On a Sunday
night.
And this is the weekend like you guys that just moved in, or like Neha and Nathan just moved in, so they came. But yeah, people were going crazy, and like I could never dance like that, bro. Their hips were moving.
You can
nuts.
though, bro. Hips don't lie.
can.
I've seen you, man. I've seen you, Harm.
I don't know, it requires a lot of effort. I'm too lazy to put that in, but it looked hype, honestly. moving like
I
that.
think the best part about it is that like when it comes to social dancing, the whole point is like you're just dancing with a random person. You're literally, if you're the lead, you're literally leading them and they're just listening to like the body and then just like following and it works. It's like some
magic.
kind of magic. It literally is some kind of magic. But it's my favorite thing, especially when you get someone who like there's like a really good connection and you don't even need to like think about what the next step is if they're leading you the right way. Like this,
you're
is
just in
coming
sync.
from, like a follow. Yeah, this is coming from like a follower. But when someone's a great lead, or if someone's following or listening really well, you could literally get into a flow state. Like I've been in a few, and it's actually like insane how fun, how like crazy, like good. You could just do random spins. You could do a dip. You could do random stuff. But it's so much fun.
Yeah.
But when it's bad, it's bad.
Yeah, I took a group salsa class once, and the flow was not there. The instructor was like doing. The
When
instructor
did you
was
do a
doing.
group salsa class?
Spain, bro.
When
You
do
want
you
to
think?
talk about it again?
Spain. You went to Spain.
You always talk about
I'd
Spain.
love to hear this story, Christian.
I didn't know he went there.
Shut the fuck up.
I hate this fucking podcast, man.
Why? Has this been a hot topic?
Yeah,
No,
his name is Christian Klein. He's been to like he just always always fucking brings up Spain. Whenever
did
like
I even like say the word Spain?
you
No, I
wanted to,
didn't.
you were itching.
No,
You were
I
itching
said
at the moment.
salsa.
To.
I said salsa.
You knew
where
what it
did
was
they
going to
have
lead to.
salsa?
You knew what it was
No.
going to lead to.
Anyway,
No, we just give him shit because he talks about Spain sometimes.
but I don't even bring it up, and they were like, "Oh, did that happen in Spain?" And then
Is it a study abroad thing?
Yeah, he's one of those study abroad kids.
Hey, I'll like defend you. I also studied abroad, so and I talk about.
Yeah, but
I
you're
talk
cool,
about
so
my
it's okay. That's fine.
No.
Was it
Christian,
Spain?
please tell me about your Spain experience.
yeah, so the dance class was at this bar called Fucking Mondays, which this is why I remember it. It was in Madrid, and we went as like the whole study abroad group like went as a group, and there were some people there who were like already dancers, so they knew what was going on. They taught like salsa for like the first like hour and a half, and then it was like turned into like a club for like the last 30 minutes of the class. And we were mostly dancing like amongst the group like of us that went, but like yeah, we were also dancing with some like 20 older 20s, like 30s, 40-year-old people, and there was some good flow, but there was, a lot of it was just everybody like looking at the instructors trying to figure out what to do. And yeah, it was we had some good dances on our squad, but it crossed into the territory of like like older dudes want to go dance with all the young people in our group, and it's kind of
Ooh.
Oh, they're trying to like.
they weren't trying to like do anything like really, but it's still kind of the optic of it was like not great. So
Were you one of them?
Crazy.
that's crazy.
It's a valid question.
I was 21.
Wait, who are you going after, Christian?
I was 21. It was you could get in at 18, but like I was only dancing with people.
Oh my god,
in the
I'm
group.
just dumb. I was just thinking like of just girls. I didn't think you were like going after like underage girls.
Oh,
Although that is
I
the
didn't think
impression you gave, huh?
Was that what you were talking about?
Oh, Christian loves Spain.
no, I don't even remember that much about that. I don't even know when that was. I just remember because the bar was called Fucking Mondays, so I remembered that much about it. I think it was like a chain. I think there's a few around Spain, but
Is it literally in English or is it like pinche?
yeah, no, it's called Fucking Mondays.
Wait, how do you say fucking Mondays in Spanish?
Pinches lunes. Pinches lunes?
Ooh, that sounds
Yeah.
pretty good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What's
did
Tuesday?
Martes. Miércoles.
Dude, I forgot everything, man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Hey, you're going, man. You gotta brush up.
That's true, honestly.
Yeah.
I need
You gotta
to-
get the Andalusian accent, bro.
No, that's not gonna happen.
Okay.
Well, next time Haran goes to Spain, maybe he'll pick it up.
Yeah.
Definitely not in Singapore.
Yeah, I mean, I won't be there, so.
If he's in Singapore, they'll just be fucking Haran.
Oh my god.
Can I go?
Anyway, something more wholesome. So, what are other types of dance do you like to do?
I mean, I don't know. Like I'm really. I think the main thing is partner dancing. We all have our. You guys know Bhavna. Like I can't do any of like that kind of like hip hop, like Bhangra, like Bollywood dancing is something I would like to pick up, but I've never really been the best at. Like solo, like I don't even know what the word is, but like solo hip hop, pop lockin', like those kinds of dances. They're really cool. I really want to I actually want to take a few classes here while I'm in New York. You guys should come. I think that'd be really cool for.
Yeah, too. You got it, man.
As like a group activity.
Yeah, I'll come. I'll come through.
Yeah, you guys already know how to dance, so you know.
We'll send you a Zoom link to the dance practice next time,
and then you can see how well we know how to.
Yeah. I love like partner dancing. I think that's when I was in college. So one of the really cool things about USC is like you usually have like 2 extra units free for like you can go up to like 18 units of classes. Right. And so so for my 2 unit classes, there would be different electives open. And my junior and senior year, I signed up for we have a dance school at USC called like Kaufman School of Dance. And they had like intro and intermediate ballroom dancing classes. Super fun class. I met so many friends from that. But the best part about that class was our instructor. So our dance teacher, his name is Jay. He was actually one of the original choreographers for Dirty Dancing. In the movie. Yeah. And Jay. So amazing guy. He's like in his like mid 50s and he was flipping me on his back and like carrying me for one of the dances. It was kind of crazy.
That's how you.
Yeah, I love him. And like I think my last class, or like no, we had already we already finished, but we after our like showcase, he like came through to like our apartment. We had like a pregame before like salsa night. So he's like one of those like cool ass teachers. Yeah. It was awesome. Yeah. Like he is like one of my favorite people in the world, and so I owe a lot of my confidence in dance to him and my ability to actually listen, because that's we would just like there would be some dance classes where we'd be on the floor blindfolded and he would be like, listen to the music, or like there'd be half the class would be blindfolded on the floor, the other class would be like up and they would be like, just react, just listen to what the other person is doing and then like move. And so some person may come by and like tap your shoulder and you have to like, you
just swing an arm at them.
You could if you wanted to, or like they would essentially what would wind up is that they would take you and then you would end up in like a partner position. You would have to just listen and like dance. And it's really
that's funny.
Cool.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. But teaches you a lot about the body, your mind, being comfortable with like other people. Yeah. It was a great class.
That reminds me of, you guys play Heads Up 7 Up in school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it's way
how
better.
How many of y'all cheated though? Who looked at the shoes?
Yeah, my ass cheated hella, bro. Trust, dude. Especially when there's some fucking stakes on it, like there's like a little prize somewhere. You get to go to lunch early or whatever bullshit. Yeah, hell yeah.
Man with no integrity.
That's fine.
What?
At least I donate to charity. Harsha.
You know Harsha would cheat in that game if they knew there's like a little Hershey's bar in the line, bro. You know Harsha would cheat in Hershey's for real.
You got me.
Not even the big one, but like the ones that come like in the snack packs with like all the mixed like the Halloween candy.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah, I know.
Harsha, you ever cheat in your life, bro?
Whoa. That's ridiculous. Right before the wedding. That's crazy.
Like for like tests and stuff, or like these type of games?
Oh, for like tests and stuff. I guess for anything. But
I mean, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
He did, because you want to know why? Because in math in like 7th grade for sure, or like maybe even I think it was 7th grade in math. There was like one quiz that I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And he already turned it in, and I was like on the first question. I was like, "Hey, Harsha, man." I was like, "Hey, bro."
Well, I guess that is kind of cheating.
I meant more
you,
to,
but like,
yeah,
I'm not
more
getting help.
Advantage. Yeah.
I take back the charity statement. that story reminded me. You're in my good graces.
So you're the charity.
No, I think like, yeah, especially in like college for like computer science stuff, it's just like one of your friends figures something out, you kind of just
tag along.
take it, change some things, turn it in. Yeah.
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
True.
Cleverest.
Yeah. Look at Harsha now.
Yeah.
Getting married. Now he's getting married.
Yeah.
That's how you do it, guys. You got to cheat to get married.
Don't take that literally. Don't take that literally.
I don't know about that.
That's bad advice. Bad advice.
Yeah.
Guzzy, you said that you studied abroad too. Where did you go?
Oh, I went to London. I was one of those basic girls.
Oh,
Hey,
London's cool.
London's hype. Yeah.
Yeah.
Harad loves that shit.
I think there's a connotation though, like a negative connotation of girls who go study abroad in London. But it wasn't my original plan, actually.
Where did you want to go?
I originally wanted to go to a country where English was not the main language. Why I ended up in London? I have a good reason.
Speak British.
Yeah. No, but still, a little bit of backstory. Prior to me being so I graduated with a PR major and a marketing minor. And prior to that, there was a point in my life where I was an IR major with a Korean studies minor. And so I thought that I was going to study abroad. There was this program called the 3-campus program where you would essentially have 2 weeks in Japan, a whole semester in Korea, and then have a summer internship in Hong Kong.
Holy shit, that is so cool.
I know. And it
is
sounded
lit.
like the most amazing thing ever, and I wanted to do it. And I was actually gearing up for it, but I think there was a few things with my major and changing it from IR to PR. And with Korean studies, it didn't work out, so I had to drop that too as well. It was a whole mess. Essentially, I wasn't able to do it. Once I switched over to PR, I was like, I'm still studying abroad no matter what.
Yeah.
But the only options that they had were London, I think London, Italy, Hong Kong, and Australia or something like that. And my best bet was how do if I'm not gonna, what I really wanted to do was if I wasn't gonna get Korea, maybe Spain.
Yeah.
That would have been really cool because I could practice my Spanish.
Yeah.
I would be immersed in the culture or something like that. Didn't happen. They didn't offer that option. Italy, I don't know why. I honestly, thinking back, I'm I should have done Italy. Because at least I would have learned Italian or something.
You could have run into Nays there if it was the same summer.
We would have met. I feel actually, I wouldn't have because she was in Milan and I would have been in Rome. Yeah. But we may have crossed paths a little bit sooner, but that's not how life works.
So lucky.
So lucky that I didn't, or I did.
So you waited until later to see me.
That I delayed the meeting?
That's crazy, man.
Damn, Tarun. You got some beef?
Yeah. We'll save that for the next time Nays comes on, though.
Oh, yeah. She's taking too much energy from your main man.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, my other best bet was okay, if I can't go to Spain, what's the closest way I can get there? And so I ended up going to London, and then every single weekend was packed with us going to a different city.
That's
it was super fun. Time of my life.
Yeah.
So fun. Yeah. Didn't learn a thing, but it was great. Yeah. But that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can understand, Christian.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
he definitely understands.
Yeah. Did you learn Spanish?
Yeah, I got a Spanish minor.
Oh, okay.
Oh, on the dance floor.
Why do you have
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It all came full circle.
Sorry, you insulted man.
Dude,
We got
I can't even be mad. That's crazy. I can't even be mad.
Oh my god.
I can't even be mad.
Yeah, you got me out here speaking Spanish. Meanwhile, you could have just chimed in
Hey,
this entire time.
Sorry. People at my job don't even know I speak Spanish, even though I put it on my resume. So sorry. Yeah, I did learn Spanish. All of our classes were in Spanish. I mean, luckily our instructors, and I put instructors like in air quotes because they were like pretty much grad students. Then I also spoke English, so they were a little lenient. But I had one instructor. She was really cool. But we did. I mean, like you said, it was really like lax. Like they didn't care that much. There was like my second week there. I got good grades in college, but like I was getting like 70s or whatever, like on the exam. She was like, you know, you could do better, right? I was like, yeah, but like I don't really want to. So she was like, yeah, that's fine. And I was like, all right. So yeah, I learned more about like some of the classes were like they were like intertwined with the culture. We're like I was also like a liberal arts major, so we were, you know, going to see like museums and like where old houses where people used to live who were like important to like Spanish culture, that kind of stuff. So
that's really cool.
A lot of like,
honestly, I actually like applaud people who do liberal arts because like I wish I did something like that. Like it's so interesting to like know things about like the world rather than just like try to find a major that will get you a job. I say this as I feel like a lot of you guys, including me,
it's okay. I'm comms too. It's okay.
Yeah, PR. Like I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. It's like I want to do business without the business part, without the math. And now I'm in an analytics job.
Great. So really, it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. So like, do whatever you want. I should have just I could have stuck with the Korean studies minor and still managed to end up the way that I did.
Well, I would argue like even without, you know, the comms major, you are pretty knowledgeable about the world and all these different things culturally.
Yeah, but it would have been cool to, you know, get a credit for it.
That's true.
I feel like it means more if you know this stuff without having been taught it, you know?
That's very sweet.
Yeah.
Who is this
guy? Speaking of, you told me prior to this podcast that you have a weird obsession with world music and music facts.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain why it's weird?
Not weird, but essentially, like, let's go back to a previous comment I made about Teo.
Yeah.
And the Moises Arias connection. So there was when I was growing up, one of my favorite shows was like the VH1 Top 100 hits of like whatever decade that was.
Yeah.
And I would watch it religiously. And so anytime that they're like, I essentially ended up knowing a lot of like one-hit wonders and just like random music or like different artists. And it really like opened me up to like have a huge like diverse taste in music and just random knowledge about different like top popular songs. And so I think that kind of shaped me as a human. And yeah, I have a huge love for music. Hopefully maybe in another life, maybe in the future, I'll get to somehow work with that or be exposed to it a little bit more. But I think, and that like fed into my huge love of like going to concerts. So huge concert junkie. Whenever there's like a smaller show, like aside from like the giant like stadium arena shows, which I don't personally love, I will try my best, even if it's like an artist I only know maybe 2-3 songs of. I will try to go to their live show if it's available, if like I have time, and if it's under $100.
That's important, honestly.
Honestly,
in this economy.
In this economy, but like also like the fact that these smaller shows are often with these smaller artists. One, like you get to see them up close and personal.
Yeah, it's way more intimate.
So much more intimate. Like you kind of get your own little like Sofar. Like, have you ever heard of like Sofar sounds? Where it's like you don't know the artist. It's like they'll send you a location. Sometimes it's a house. Sometimes it's like a random like event, like a venue, and you go there and then you just listen to like up and coming artists or like random music. And it's a really cool it's a cool date idea. It's a cool just like spot or like thing to do. And they have them around the US. I think there's some in LA, some in New York, some in other cities, but it's a really cool thing just to get exposed to more music artists. But yeah, just like smaller live shows in general are so much more fun in my opinion. And then also you get to have some bragging rights if that artist blows up.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw them in this small venue
Yeah.
like a few years back. Yeah, I'm really annoying with that.
Nah, fuck, you should flex it. You should.
If you were to go on like your Spotify playlist or like songs that you listen to like a lot, who do you think, like what artists do you think, if you went to their monthly listeners, would have the lowest?
What do you mean?
Like the most niche.
Oh, like a
yeah, like
most niche.
like if you go on their monthly listeners, like do they have like under 100 or like under like 1,000 or something like that?
I don't know about. I actually have one, and this is an artist that I showed Tarun and Ajay when we were hanging out the other day. And I don't know, maybe it's because of Spotify in general, but we also checked this artist's YouTube account, which amazing music videos, by the way, great sound, and it's not even in English. So this artist is called Trady, and I think she, if I'm pronouncing the pronouns correctly, she is either Chinese or Taiwanese, I think Chinese artist that makes really cool, almost like 80s sounding like indie funk kind of like music. So good.
Yeah.
Her voice is amazing. But like she has like her music could be as, I don't even know what kind of artist like is similar to that, but do you guys know like Jungle? Yeah. So the reason why I was able to find her was through Jungle, actually. She has only about like less than 1,000, 2,000 listeners on Spotify, but the music is so good. But the reason why I was able to find her through Jungle was, so another cool thing about the band Jungle is that they often, all of their music videos are kind of like dance music videos, and they work with this one dance studio, I think from London, and it's the same like dancers, and they're always in every single music video. It's really cool. It's really fun to watch. I think for one of the songs they had a dance tutorial, which was really cool, and it's usually shot in like a one camera, one shot, like
one take.
Yeah, one take, and a one take shot, which is really cool. Yeah, love their music videos as much as I do their music. And when I was looking through, I think their Instagram or something, their choreographer had posted like some other work that she was a part of, and one of them was for Trady. And the music video looked really cool. It was similar to Jungle's Casio, which if you listen to that, also great song, kind of like it's very nostalgic and very chill, very funk, like not even funky, but like it's just like very groovy.
Yeah.
Her music video was very similar. It kind of it had a lot of dancing. It looked like it was taking place in like this like 1970s like Chinese parlor, like, you know, lounge kind of. It was very cool. And the music video was so good. And I was so surprised because it only had like less than like what, 25 to 10K views. But the production was amazing, and I was just surprised because there's so many artists out there that I feel like have so much, like they have so much talent, but they're not being recognized for it at all. And then we have artists that sing the same word over and over again, maybe not even in tune, and
we trying to
get millions. So that grinds my gears a little bit, but I can't dictate the music industry. So
what's your favorite era of music, or I guess like in decades, I guess, which
it's kind of hard to say. I feel like every decade has their own have their own gems, and then every future decade is inspired or like influenced by the previous decade. And so it all kind of mixes together. You'll have artists from the 80s who sound like they're from the 70s, artists from the 90s who sound like, and it's all in a cycle, right? So like, I feel like right now, most recently, I would say like maybe 5 years ago, all of the music sounded like an 80s, like funk, like inspo. So it's very nostalgic of that sound. Like you have Bruno Mars with like what was his album called?
The one with Anderson .Paak?
24K or before?
Yeah, 24 Karat. Yeah, like 24 Karat. Like this very very funky, very
Yeah.
nostalgic, very fun, very reminiscent of that kind of era. And then nowadays, I feel like now it's slightly like moving forward to like the late 90s to early 2000s. You kind of hear that with a lot of like EDM artists nowadays. Like when we were at Coachella, like even like Fred again, it's very like the trance
Trance
kind
music,
of,
yeah.
yeah, it's very reminiscent of like early EDM.
Yeah.
And so you hear that transition. It's just cycling all over again, but in a more contemporary way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really cool though. I love it. Every era is amazing. But I think I'm more into chiller kind of sounds. I love to just like sit back and like listen. I grew up in like my parents were huge, like loved music. Like granted, like coming from the Soviet era, like in the early 90s, they were just getting like the 80s music that was like popping.
Right.
And so I was raised with like Sade, Savage Garden. Who else was there? When I was younger, we had neighbors who loved rap music. And so they grew, like they, as a child, as a baby, they would be like they would have different posters of like artists. They have Britney Spears and like, that was my cousin, but like the neighbors would have like Biggie, Tupac, like Coolio, all these other like rap artists. And as a child, as like a baby, they'd be like, who's Biggie? And I'd be like pointing to it. Yeah. And so
That's cute.
huge influence of different types of music has always kind of, I think it's been a part of my life ever since I was younger, but it's really cool to like see how that has also like affected music nowadays. So yeah, you see that with the resurgence of like TikTok too. Like all these nostalgic sounds are like popping up and people are like, oh my God, what is this? What is this music? And it's like, oh, it's literally Sade's Like a Tattoo that's like going viral right now. But it was, nobody knew about it maybe 10 years ago. But our parents did because they grew up with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
That was like mine was kind of similar in that regard because like when I was growing up, my like dad would only play 70s or 80s like pop hits in my like in the car.
yeah.
So like when I would go to school, I'd be like, "Oh, do you guys know like this Elton John song, this Bee Gees song?" Everyone's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I was like, "Shit."
It was like 30
But
years
now
old.
it's cool.
So
But now it's cool.
I
Do you
listen to
feel
radio.
like you're like appreciative of that?
Yeah,
Like,
I think I am. I mean, I think I listen to classic songs like pretty often, like these days. Like I'm glad that my dad showed me all that music, so it's a place in my heart. But yeah, I don't know if I mean like I'd want to show my kids that music too, but I feel like by then is it like too old? I don't know.
No.
oldies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not
People
too
are
old.
calling
If it's good
like
music, it's
90s
good music.
oldies.
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what about you guys? What are your all's like favorite genres / eras of music, or what you identify with? I think that would be really cool to hear.
So for me, I mean, growing up, all I listened to was like Indian music, like Telugu music that my parents played in the car, and then like whatever, like the radio station in Northern Virginia was Hot 99.5, which would just play like the regular bangers, I guess, or like the Lady Gagas and shit like that. But I don't think I really like knew what was available until like what music was available until like my brother started getting into like Coldplay, Breaking Benjamin, and all these types of bands. And then I started listening to like the same things he would, and I was like, oh, I like this. And then from there, I think I had like a slightly like electronic music phase where I didn't really listen to anything with lyrics. And then from there went to rap, and like now I don't really know. Like I don't think I have like a favorite genre or anything like that. I kind of just listen to everything, but I also don't listen to much music generally anymore. I would say probably in the past year, what like the most I listen to is like just lo-fi hip hop beats to study to. You know, that stream on YouTube.
Yeah,
that
you
shit
just-
bangs. That shit bangs. But,
Did you see that thing though that happened?
Yeah.
The lo-fi girl.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
left.
The windows like
and then
showing.
was it emo boy?
lo-fi.
Yeah, something like
Is
that.
that lo-fi? No, he's not lo-fi. It's
Oh,
like
is
like synth pop or something.
Oh,
like
yeah,
it's
he's
like,
like
a EDM-y.
synthwave,
It's more
yeah.
EDM-y.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
I was so excited. I was
They
so
did a
hyped
good
for
job
that.
with that. They did a really good job. But yeah, I mean, that's it for me.
What about you, Christian? I'm going.
I got a long story. I'll let Harsha go first.
Okay, harsh.
Do anything hard to the short story?
You have a long story.
Long story.
Yeah, mine's very short. Pretty much what Tarun said, honestly. I don't think I started listening to music on my own until like 5th grade, where it was just what my friends listened to
Yeah.
because I didn't really know anything. so they listened to a lot of like Green Day and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't really like this, to be honest.
Do you still not like Green Day, or have you not listened to it?
I don't think I just haven't listened to it since. Yeah.
Do you like
so
Coldplay?
This is okay. Yeah, I do.
I feel like Coldplay. Like I feel like Chris Martin's voice is a lot more like soothing or easier on the ear.
Yeah, palatable. Yeah.
Palatable. Yeah.
What
but Green
about
Day is good
Linkin
too.
Park? What about Linkin Park?
Oh, Green. Oh, Linkin
I think
Park's elite.
I don't listen to. I didn't listen to that much Linkin Park too. Like a little bit too much yelling. But I think my dad, like outside of Indian music, my dad also listened to like a lot of Backstreet Boys when I was younger. He would just play that, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I just started listening to that too. Then it just evolved into rap and like hip hop in like middle school and high school, and then like towards the end of college and until now, I just like kind of stopped listening to music pretty much completely.
So what do you do? Like, you're like
Who are you?
How do you live?
I live in utter silence for the last 5 years. No, I think I just listen to a lot of podcasts when I'm driving or at the gym. And then
Yeah, I should listen to himself.
Never to ours. Never to ours.
I can't. No,
He actually like takes each episode and he cuts out all the stuff that he says and like, he puts it all together. So he just listens to
it honestly like doesn't take that much work.
You don't, Harsha, you don't generally listen to music while like you're doing stuff, right? Like I don't think you listen to music that much while you're doing homework or anything like that.
No, I can't.
Yeah.
I need like quiet, so I don't. So that I want to get back into listening to music and like playing too, but like with piano and stuff. But like I just don't.
I think I always have music on. Can't even imagine what it'd be like just not have it on like at least like 60% of the day.
But you like more chill stuff?
Yeah, I like more chill stuff and like soundtracks and stuff. But wait, hold on. So even when you're working, like not for school but for work, you listen to music?
Yeah, I just have it on. Like I'm not like
okay.
I mean, maybe I'm not actively listening all the time, but there's times where I catch myself like singing along or like tapping along. But like when I'm cooking, I have music on. Like when I'm playing video games, sometimes I have music on if I don't need to hear what's going on. I'm most likely I actually have music on playing like 60% of my day, I would say, easily.
Christian?
I'm excited for Christian's long story.
Yeah, I kind of bigged it up too much, I think. But yeah, so both my parents are musicians, and so I grew up like for backstory. Like my parents were separated like before I was born, so I was always with my mom. And like in the car, she always listened. She started playing music when she was like 16, and like started being in bands and stuff. So and she played bass, so like she has like an appreciation from like that point of view. So we like growing up, I listened to a lot of like heavy metal and like hard rock. And so, like,
he had long hair too.
Long black hair.
You had long hair. I would love to see that.
We're good.
God.
But then, like, that transitioned into me like learning how to play guitar and like playing guitar when I was starting. I was like 8 or whatever, and then I kind of like I still play guitar, but then I like transitioned to like what Haram was saying, like Linkin Park, and like I guess still a lot of like heavy metal, like. I guess they call it like new metal. It was like the genre term for like the late 2010s or late 2000s, early 2010s. And then once I got to like late middle school, high school, kind of like everybody else, I moved more to like hip hop. But like I didn't just stick. It's hard to explain. So I grew up in New Hampshire, which is a rural ass state. We ain't got no high speed internet at home really. Like I didn't have like Wi-Fi until like my good consistently good Wi-Fi to like my junior senior year of high school. So what I would do is I would do like research on like my phone, right? I would like figure out like rap history pretty much. And I downloaded hundreds of mixtapes off of this website called DatPiff, which just went down like a month ago. And I have like all these local files of like I have probably like a dozen Lil Wayne mixtapes like from like early 2000 to like early 2010s that like they're just remixes of popular songs. So like that was
I should always pull these out whenever like I'm within. I'm like I've never heard this song in my life.
That's because they're not the songs that would be played on because I never used to listen to the radio either. Like I like knew what was popular because I would like sometimes hear what like other people were listening to, but like I wasn't like one of those people that would like, dude, when I went home, bro, I had NPR playing in my fucking bedroom. I didn't have no fucking radio.
NPR.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, NPR kind of bangs. I mean, back then it didn't, but like now,
when I would go to bed,
Michael Barbaro.
when I would go to bed, bro, it would always be because we were in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Like after 11 o'clock, they would switch to the fucking Canadian Public Radio for 2 hours, and then they go to BBC.
That's kind of cool. Though. It's very global.
Yeah. But yeah, so that whole like process of like transitioning to like learning about like moving up through time, like I still have like All Against the World. Was that? No, All Eyes on Me is one of my favorite albums by Tupac. Like that has so many great songs on it. Ready to Die, I like that one a lot too. It's not as much my favorite, but like going through the classics of time, like I didn't get really that much into like Wu-Tang or like a lot of the groups around that time, but moving forward through like the late 2000s, early 2010s, like I guess it started late in high school, I think, or early college, where like I started like wanting to like produce music. And so I went through that journey a little bit. And so now I listen to things like much more sonically. Like I listen to a lot of like rap and hip hop, but I try to listen to it through a different vein of like, okay, like what is going on like behind like the lyrics and like what's being said and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, now I'm like Haran, where like I listen to music all day long, like, but I listen to the same songs over and over again. That's the thing, is like I don't switch up very much.
Like, do you have like one playlist that you listen to like for years, or is it like you have your new like chunk of new music and that's all you listen to for a bit, and then you find a new chunk of new music?
Yeah, it's more like that. So I'm also weird because I use Apple Music, which I know is like banned around here or whatever. But I listen to, because I grew up on like not having like streaming or like whatever. I grew up like listening to albums and CDs. So when I know that like somebody I know or know of is like releasing an album, like I'll listen to the album like all the way through. Like I don't listen to like a song or a song here, a song there. Like I will listen to the album like start to finish, and then I'll pick out like what songs from that album I like. And then I have this like weird system on my computer where like it tells me, like I give like the song a rating, and then it automatically throws it into playlists. And so what I do is I shuffle those playlists of like, these songs came out in like 2015, 2016, 2017, and I like them. So I'm just shuffle all of them. But I will still go back and listen to albums like front to back still. Even though I don't like all the songs of the album, it's still like an experience. So.
Which is funny you mentioned you do Apple Music, because I remember I was on Spotify one day and I looked at like I have like the friends open, so I always see what my friends are listening to, and it's like Christian Klein was on Spotify. I was like, what the fuck? And then he's playing some Telugu song, and I was like, what is going on? And I realized he's probably just doing like a dance mix. I'm assuming doing dance mix.
Nice. But you know, I feel like Bollywood is like one of the best things about it is that it's been it's held the backbone for all of like hip hop and like pop music most recently, and like maybe in the last 20 years or so. Like almost every like prolific like producer, rapper, whoever has sampled Bollywood music or like it's Indian music in general.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So that's pretty cool. Shout out to Timbaland.
Shout out to Timbaland.
He loves Bollywood music. Like if you listen to a lot of his music, a lot of like the beats, like the backbones of a lot of his music is like rooted in like Bollywood. So that's really cool.
Yeah, my favorite type of production is when people chop up like old samples and stuff. Like that's definitely that's like one of the things that I've yet to like really, because like when you put things out like that, you have to go through all this like jumping through hoops of like clearing samples and all that sort of shit. That is just such a pain in the ass. Where if you want to release music that's sampled, like you either have to pay a fuck ton of money or you have to go through lawyers or like this and that. It's just so much extra work that it makes it really difficult
nowadays, though.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I think it's probably harder to like, I mean, it's probably pretty obvious, but like for like producers to make like original beats these days, like it's almost impossible, right? Like the amount of music that's out there, like I don't even know how you'd go about it.
That's true, but I mean, I can speak more to like the like modern producers where, dude, these dudes will like, they're literally like playing Fortnite on their like fucking like software. They're literally just like, or getting AI to like make the drum patterns, or doing shit like this, like a lot of it can be so like
automated.
Yeah. Where it kind of takes the soul out of it to an extent, which is where I don't like using some of the software. But yeah, these dudes will be like making like hi-hat patterns or like kick patterns or something like that, just like copy and pasting them and then like reusing them over and over again on like different songs.
Yeah,
and
it's
like,
kind of sad to think about.
And the melodies are like, it'll be the same like VST or like instrument like put over like over an album like 4 or 5 times. Like it's just so it gets difficult to like make new unique music doing like that.
Yeah.
Where a lot of like producers nowadays, like the really popular ones, like I don't know, like Wheezy or like when the Baby was popping, like Jetson, like them dudes was just recycling the same beat over and over again with different melodies. Like they
wait, Jetson was like, oh Lord, Jetson made another one.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why I respect producers like Metro. Like I know you guys saw him at Coachella. Like he has like a certain sound to him, but he varies it up enough to where like you don't even need to know. That's when I know you're good producers. I don't even need to hear your tag to know that you made the beat.
Yeah,
you know, like that kind
I think he takes pride in it too. Like,
for sure.
It comes off it like that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of great producers, but they don't always, I mean, just because artists are the more prevalent ones, they don't get as much shine, but that's how I feel.
Do you guys think Charlie Puth is a good producer?
I think he's musically talented.
I would agree with that statement, yeah. I don't know if I know enough of his music to like say that he's a good producer.
Like
but
producing? I don't know. Like he's not on the same level as like, even if you look at like Diplo or was it Benny Blanco? Like they're very much like responsible for a lot of like the popular pop music right now, top 40s in the past like 10 years. I don't know if I could say the same about Charlie Puth.
Yeah,
I know him as an artist and him like trying to talk about like, what was it? Like trying, if he hears like a sound, he's like, it's actually in the key of G.
Yeah. I see the TikToks.
Hey, but that's kind of lit though. I kind of wish I had that.
No, that is a pretty good talent. Yeah.
Perfect Pitch is pretty cool.
Yeah. No, the reason I asked is because like I feel like ever since like COVID, he's been popping off on TikTok where he like makes these TikToks about how he makes his songs, and he'll take like, I don't think it's necessarily like mind blowing that he takes like the sound of a light switch and puts it in a song and uses it like a percussive type thing, but I feel like he does have like really good knowledge of just like music. I don't know how else to describe it. Like just how things go together.
He's a band kid.
Yeah. So
he's a band kid. He's a band nerd.
Shout out to him,
it
bro.
Makes sense. I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. I feel like I was the lazy one. There's always like that one kid in class who you're like, oh, this person's gonna like pursue this.
That's how
it's not just like an elective.
That's hella true.
Which is great. Like it's cool. It's cool to see. Like I wish.
Yeah.
I wish that could be me, but it wasn't.
No. But I felt like it was like not cringe, but like it was hella like I don't know why I was thinking cringe. It was like hella regimented, like doing band or like music at school. Like you play all these like whack-ass songs. Whereas like if I knew that learning the guitar, learning the trumpet or the trombone or like in some sort of fashion would like help me like make music like on a software or something, I feel like I would have been more into it. Or, like,
that's fair. I mean, like, you don't really have control of like what song your band's gonna play, right? It's all the conductor.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to control that, even from like a teacher's point of view, though. Too, like you're thinking about a curriculum, no budget.
Yeah,
music is usually the first thing to get cut.
Yeah. At least when we went to school, like, or when we were in band and shit. I guess like definitely not. But I've seen videos now where like there's like music production classes where like everyone comes to class with a beat and they play it off. And like I was like, oh shit,
that's pretty cool. Wait, were you all in band?
I was, yeah.
No
band.
I
did orchestra.
You did orchestra?
I played the violin.
Oh, nice. What about you, Tarun?
I played the trumpet.
Of course you did.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
You know the stereotype.
Yeah. I was just like, hey, 3 buttons in it. I was like, it's simple. It's actually so fucking hard and stupid.
It looked hard, bro. The blowing exercises, I see them do is crazy. Yeah.
It's buzzing, actually.
I think I went to the wrong class.
Oh, buzzing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Mad.
You got better at it though.
Yeah, I played percussion.
Percussion?
Because
Like-
I kind of like, in my mind I cheated because I played the piano growing up. And then I started percussion. I was like, oh, xylophone. I was like, fuck, I already know how to read. I remember I already know how to read the keys. Like this should be easy. And then I realized they could like play a lot more than just that. Like you can't just choose what you play. So like I got better with the snare over time, but I definitely wasn't like that comfortable by the time like I like finished middle school. But my favorite was the timpani. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but that was my favorite one.
That's fun. That's like the...
Yeah, you could do the drum rolls on that. Like it was a lot more. I don't know. For me, it was a lot more easier than like the snare, and also it was like a little more like calming sound compared to like the snare is like just very loud and in your face, and I didn't really like that when I was playing it.
It's a very sharp sound versus the timpani. I feel like is a little bit more rounded.
Exactly.
And, like, it's what brings like essentially like the bass, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I'd play like when the tubas were playing, they were next to me, and I was like, it was nice. I was like at the back, but. Yeah, I like the percussion. I kind of wish I think if I didn't go to TJ, I would have done marching band at my local high school because a lot of my like friends from like band were going to do marching band as well. But
yeah, I did marching band for a little bit, but
really?
not for the right reasons. It was offered as like the PE credit if you did it.
Why don't you like PE?
Yeah. What?
You didn't like
Why
PE?
didn't I like PE?
Yeah.
It was funny because like by senior year, I think I also joined like was it track and field, but only for a little bit because I was like I want to be with friends, and then I was like, oh, that means I have to run. Like that. Yeah, but band was cool. I did marching band, and then I switched over to wind ensemble. Yeah, after some time, but I played tenor sax for a bit.
Ooh.
Good instrument. Yeah,
fun instrument, but fun fact. Well, not fun fact, but like I was like one of the only people who wasn't in jazz band, even though my instrument was literally created like for the purpose of jazz. But I didn't even like. I hated practicing though.
Yeah, I
was like, I only like being in the group and just like listening, like hearing the sound when everyone was like, made like you know.
Yeah.
So like when that one sound hit. The resonance.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, I'm in it.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah, when I was in band with
and they go, oh shit, I'm supposed to be playing right now. Fuck. I'm just soaking in the moment. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
When I was in the band playing trumpet, like we were living in an apartment, and so like I couldn't be too loud when I was practicing this fucking trumpet. But also like I was so bad at the scales because like I couldn't buzz like hard enough, right? But like to get to the highest notes, you gotta buzz like hella hard, bro. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And then one day I was like, maybe I'll go to like, there we had like neighborhood park. I was like, maybe I'll go there and practice. So I went there, before I brought my trumpet out. And like, there's some like kids there and there's all the people. I was like, dog, if I can't even do the scales like in my own bedroom with nobody else listening, there's definitely no chance I can do it out here. And then like a year later, there was like a kid who like, I think went from elementary school to middle school, and so then he joined band and he had a saxophone and he would play in the park and he was like amazing. He was like fuck, it was beautiful.
Were people like giving him money? This
poor homeless boy.
Just him and his sax.
And I was like, dude, I could actually never do this again. And so then at the end of the year, when my band teacher was like, oh, True, you want to do this again? Like after I fucked up the scales in front of everybody in class and stuff. I was like, nah. And he's like, oh, why? I'm like, what do you think is the reason, bro? You dumbass. I can't practice at home. I can't be here. I can't do it well at school. Like, this is stupid.
Anyway. Look at you now.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah. It's sad, but it's also, it made me feel it was a different instrument. I feel different, but like trumpet.
That's why I didn't play trumpet, man. I wanted to play trumpet.
Yeah.
Violin is cool though. That's impressive.
No, violin is cool.
Violin's better.
Yeah, my dad was like, "You're too small to be able to like blow into the trumpet and play it well. You should play the violin."
I wanted to
play the violin.
Yeah, I wanted to do cello actually. That was like my second option. But then I saw it and I was like, this shit's fucking massive, and I was like, I ain't carrying that shit. I'm good.
That's what I hate about tenor too. It was so heavy. It was like me and my giant like luggage every day, like carrying 20 pounds of just like my backpack, like all my AP books and like, this giant case. It looked like I had like it looked like a gun like holder. It's kind of crazy, but it's okay. I was intimidating or
Wait,
whatever.
wasn't marching band like a huge commitment though? Like after after school, before school, or it was not that intense?
It was only for like 2 years, and then I stopped, and then I switched over to an ensemble, so it's fine. Yeah. I mean, I don't really remember a lot of it, but it was a good time for what it was.
True. I feel like you really get really close to the people in the band that way.
Yeah. Most of my friends were from there. That's cool. Music. Love that.
Do we want to go to the thing?
Yeah. It's a great transition. You got it, man. You got it.
Yeah.
We love the segues. I think that's my favorite
I
part.
hope we're making the telepathic connection that I think you're thinking of.
Yeah. Speaking of music.
Oh shit.
Me, Guzzy, and Haran actually just went to Coachella recently. What? Is it a different?
Yeah, I thought you were going something else.
What?
I thought you were just talking about the Friends thing.
Oh shit! Yeah. Wait, what the hell does music have to do with Friends?
No, she just said that a lot of her friends came from marching band.
Oh. Speaking of Friends.
So great.
Speaking of Friends, guys, before you came on the podcast, you texted me, about the different varieties of friends that people can have. And I thought this was a very interesting topic. I think you mentioned, that we should talk about maybe like what makes a good friend, friend versus like roommate experience, and like platonic versus like romantic love, but I guess between friends, but also just generally.
Yeah.
But clearly you had some thoughts here. So what do you think? What do you think makes a good friend? Like, what do you think is the top, like the most important characteristic?
How good is Tarun on a scale of 1 to good?
You think they're friends?
For the 2 months that I've known him.
Yeah. Is he trending up?
Honestly,
Trending upward.
It's actually like it started up so high.
Oh no.
It always does.
That's the Tarun story.
It was good. No, think about even just this podcast. Like, it's just a testament of like how quickly a friendship can evolve. And like, what is it? Not flourish. Like, what's the word?
Blossom.
Like, can develop. Like, so it can blossom.
Yeah.
That's a great word. How a friendship can blossom so quickly, and like, I feel like, obviously, Haran, Harsha, Christian, like, you guys aren't in New York, so it's or like it's not as easy.
Oh, we're not cool enough to be your friends. Yeah, we get it.
We're
we get that all the time.
We're not as close yet. But I've had the opportunity to hang out with Tarun like in the past 2 months. Like we've probably hung out every week.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
if
pretty much.
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Like probably multiple times a week too, as well. And like seeing how my friendships have evolved in the past 2 years, I think especially one post-pandemic to post-grad, like in the real world, I think is like a huge thing. Like it's so hard to make friendships just in general, but having those elements that on top, it just makes it so much more difficult. And looking back at it, like seeing how easily and how deeply and how like great my friendships have been in these past 2 to 3 years has been like a really cool thing to see.
Yeah.
Like in spite of everything that's been going on, in spite of how many challenges have like came our way that actually like tore us, like who pulled us apart from like all these daily interactions where you would normally make friends, but somehow make them in other ways and like create these like really deep bonds with people has been like a really great learning lesson for me, and has made me really grateful, I think, during this time. Like Neha and I, even though we knew each other in college, like her and my friend Saman, Shaheen, and Sreya, like I only knew Saman at that time through our organization in college. And then I started getting to know her in senior year. And even then, we weren't even that close. It took us till graduation during the pandemic for us to become friends. And then because she stayed over, she stayed in LA during the pandemic, we started hanging out more. And from there on, our friendship like grew immensely. And I think that goes to show with like, even with a lot of like pandemic relationships, if you look at them, they either became super, either they broke up or they became super close in that time span. But from what I've realized is like, it really isn't about how long you've known the person, but like the depth of connection that you have with them. And I feel like you meet so many people and they're like, yeah, surface level, great, like fun, like you'll hang out with them a little bit, but then like they're really like, how far can you go? And there's some people you meet immediately and you're like already have that connection. You feel like you've known them for many years. I would say that about Tarun as well. Like like I did not know that you and Ajay were like essentially strangers, kind of. Like you had a mutual friend, like Nays was your friend, but like seeing you guys interact now, 2 months.
It's pretty crazy.
It seems like you guys have known each other for like years and years and years. And I feel like even with you, like when I met you, I think the way that you opened up yourself and you were so friendly made one like broke down that wall. I feel like there's always a wall when you're meeting someone new. That wall was completely broken and it was so easy to just like be myself, learn about you as a person and like actually like get through that and like actually start hanging out, talking, like making jokes. Like I think that's something that's very like it I feel like it almost has to be earned in a lot of friendships instead of just being like hey, this is who I am, I think you're really cool, like let's hang out, let's be friends. Like it's very rare that like that comes naturally, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
And it takes so much time. So when you're able to just like get that immediately, I think it's so valuable. Like you're like, oh, this is a part, like this is my home, you know? It's been really cool meeting everyone. Like I feel like I've made some of my deepest friendships in these past like 2 years, even this past like 2 months, really. I've met more people here in New York.
So many people. Like
than I have living in LA for many, many years. Maybe it's proximity, maybe it's the way like the culture is here, but still it's a lot of factors. But I think that goes really far. I don't know, how have y'all's friendship evolved like throughout the years?
We're strictly business.
We're not even friends anymore now. Yeah, we're just business partners. No, that's not really true. I think it's been tested since COVID it's been tested because like Christian was away and like us we were together. And then like even now like, we're all like, or in like a couple months we'll all be in like all 4 different cities. So I think it will be even like, it gets consistently evolving, but that's why I'm kind of glad we have this podcast because like it's a means for us to like stay in touch and like keep ourselves updated and also like catch up with old friends, new friends and stuff like that. But
do you guys feel like you need to like put in like, I think one of the biggest issues I've always had is like keeping up with friendships. Like you feel like you always need to have like an equal amount of effort pushed by both friends, especially from long distance friends. But do you guys feel like there's any like, you know, like resistance in that, or is it easy to like keep up with each other?
I think it's easy because of this. I think otherwise
it might be harder.
Yeah.
I get that.
So
that's
it's like so different because like 3 or 4 years of our friendship was just I could just walk down the hall or like open my door, you know. And now you should put in the effort, and it took some getting used to.
I think maybe that's why it's a little. I mean, I don't know about you, Tarun. Like maybe that's why it's been a little bit easier, at least for us. I feel like we're kind of creating that like ecosystem here in New York with a lot of our friend groups. Because we're kind of like incorporating each other into our daily lives. Like I live with 2 of my best friends, and like I don't know about you. I can't speak for you, Tarun, but like I feel like Ajay's becoming your best friend.
It's like New York is very like college-esque, just the fact that like everyone's in such close proximity, and it's so unbelievably easy to like see each other. Like I feel like even in Nova when we're all together, like seeing each other twice a week was semi-difficult, right? Like just based on schedules and like just a meet up for like a dinner that we would go to somebody's house and cook. Like I felt like that was like it required some effort, whereas here I feel like it's even less than that, which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, I think that's also like the environment is also what is like so conducive to like making close friends here, because it's just like it's nonstop. But yeah, I think you bring up a good point in that like when us four were roommates, it was like daily, and like I think some people are roommates and they don't hang out with their roommates, but they're like friends with their roommates. I think we were roommates and we were best friends, so it's like we didn't really see any other people, and then we would get mad when Haran went to go see other people like fucking Tyler or whatever.
I literally would just hang out with people to do homework. I wasn't like
It's
half
such
like
cap.
It's like 75% of the time we were doing work. Like that's how fucking
Dads,
beer, man.
dads,
Homework
stop
and
fighting.
beer.
Dads.
We'd be like,
Haran,
come out,
easy, man.
Haran, come
I
out
was
with us.
doing,
And
I
they'd
was
be like,
literally working half the time. We we literally would talk about it as a group with my friends. I'd be like, yo, like should we like do something like to chill? And oh fuck, we got like this homework coming up. Let's work on that. It was
So cringe.
it wasn't fun hangouts, bro.
I've had the same argument for like the last like 7 years.
I'm
I
not
know you guys
over
don't listen to me, man. You guys don't listen to me.
Well, there's nothing to listen to, bro. We asked you to come out, and then when you came home, you wouldn't be home. You'd be like, "Oh, what'd you do?" And then you were like, "Oh, I went to Tyler's to play FIFA and drink beer."
Like twice.
Twice as I'm bad, man. My blood's boiling.
Oh.
Someone else.
So in that kind of case, like
We did toxic friendship. That's what we did.
just a friendship, or just roommates as well?
Oh no, I think they're mostly playing. I think it was mostly just a joke, but
Yeah.
mostly.
Most.
It felt personal.
Good.
So in that kind of vein, like, what do you guys think about? Because there's like a saying that says like, oh, don't live with your roommate, don't live with your best friends.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Harsha.
Yeah, Harsha.
For context, me and Harsha lived together all 4 years of college, and we were best friends.
Yeah, that's
before.
true.
Harsha's best friend Amrita though.
Time to be honest, Eric. If you want to
I didn't regret that decision.
Why are you saying it like that?
Kidding. No, I mean it's fine. It's fine because like I think I disagree with that because like if like I'm friends with somebody, like I want to spend time with them and I know how they are. Like, yeah. So we've made some like bad decisions with like other roommates like later, but like as far as touring goes, like yeah, pretty good.
He passed the test.
He passed it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I take it a little differently because like I wouldn't change like who I live with. I just want to start off by saying that, but like I know live alone and it's so great, man. Like,
well, that's a whole other ballgame.
I know,
I think
but
you can't compare that.
But
to like,
I mean,
another roommate.
I would prefer to live with like somebody I know rather than a random roommate. That's for sure. But like, just living on your own is just it provides so much. Like, I'm a personal space kind of person. Like, I need time to like not be socializing. Like, my social battery is very limited, and I understand when it's on, when it's off. And when it's off, like, I won't talk to anybody for like 48 hours. Like, there was a month this year where I just put my phone on Do Not Disturb because I didn't want to deal with anybody. So, like, I was just not about it. And so, but if you have a roommate, there's like a certain level of forced interaction to where it's not uncomfortable, but it's like a little like, I don't know, it's forced. So you don't really feel great about it. So, maybe things will change in the future, but like for now, I view like living, I mean, it's also different because we were in college, right? So like you pretty much have to have a roommate. But yeah, it's just a whole different experience.
Do you think it'll change for like a partner?
I feel like it depends.
That's a whole other thing.
Yeah, I think that depends on like how you view like how you sacrifice things and like compromises and stuff. Because like obviously nobody's going to get everything they want, right? You just have to figure out whether you're compatible with like, somebody snoring or like, somebody who like doesn't clean the dishes or, somebody who doesn't take out the trash, or if it's somebody who like, I don't know. There's a lot of factors that go into it. I don't want to make any preconceived notions about that, but I would like to imagine that you can like coexist in an environment like that where, things aren't perfect for either person, but they're good enough to where like you have other things that offset like the negatives to the positives.
Yeah. I mean, Harsha's almost about to have that experience.
Not even, man. Man's got time.
He's a couple years away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, after the wedding we'll be like 2 hours apart. Just because of work and school and stuff. So Yeah, it'll still be.
But then after.
After, hopefully.
Yeah.
Like later, like a year or two.
Okay, nice.
So, yeah, actually, like, I've lived with her, like, in places for, like, a week at a time, so it's been good. But, yeah, I actually, like, I guess I don't fully know how it'll be as roommates, too. But
Are you looking forward to it, though?
Am I looking forward to it? Yeah, I am.
Took a second there.
Am I looking forward to it?
It should be a yes.
I am.
Yes.
The right answer is yes.
Yeah, of course, man. It's been too long.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, in terms of that topic, the reason why, like, when I was like sending you over like the note about friendships, and I've always been the type of person who has like valued platonic friendships even like slightly more over romantic like potential like interests and things like that. So I'm very curious like to see like, because I've always had experiences like either when I've had experiences where friends have gotten with someone, that person, even though they've only known them for half the amount of time that they've been friends with me or with whoever, they will dedicate 110% of their time to that relationship. And it would hurt. It would like literally like break my heart because in my eyes, like my friendships with my friends are just like if not equal, like probably greater, like more important to me to prioritize. So I'm curious to see like hear like about you guys, like how do you guys like, especially the ones that are in relationships, like how do you guys balance that, like your friendships, your platonic relationships to your like romantic relationships? Like what carries more weight, or if it is the same kind of weight, is it different? Like it's just more compartmentalized, or how would you even go about that?
Let's go in descending order, starting with the husband.
Descending order.
Like of time, sorry. Sorry. I have to clarify that.
I put more value into my romantic relationship. Because it's also like I didn't view it as that much of a sacrifice, because it's like it's kind of easy when she's also like friends with your friends too, so we can hang out together. I can do both. I think in the beginning I don't really remember her or like think I did that. I guess I would go and visit her a lot, but I think I never viewed it as like something that I would have to apologize or like talk to my like other friends about, because I feel like you're like putting in effort for like a potential like long-term romantic relationship down the road, and like your other friends like would kind of understand and be there for you because you know that you're doing something for yourself.
Yeah. I think it's different though. Like you're literally about to get married.
Yeah.
You're literally like, hey y'all.
But I think
bye.
You were saying also more on the lines where like you say a friend of yours had just met some guy like a couple of weeks ago, and then like they become like really involved, and they just like only spend time with themselves, right? That's the more because like wait, Harsh and Amrita have known each other for like a lifetime.
Yeah, forever.
So it's a little,
because for context, there's a
different.
picture of him and Amrita, his to-be wife, in like literally as babies next to each other.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's like a movie, bro.
It's fate.
Yeah.
Meant to be.
Yeah.
Meant to be.
This is such an efficient guy, bro. You saw one girl and you're like, that's it, that's good.
2 years old, he's like, that's the one.
Yeah. It's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all,
Target
but
acquired.
I'm good.
I'm good. I'll take it.
Acquired.
I don't know. Maybe you guys could answer. Like, when I first started dating her, I don't think did anything change.
Sure, I think you would know best because you lived with him at that time. So like,
yeah, that's true.
Like we, like Ron and I only really saw Harsha like mostly on the weekends anyway.
Tarun had his hands full at that time.
Care to explain?
Oh lordy,
That's crazy. Everybody's getting hit this podcast. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I don't.
No one's safe.
Yeah, no one is. No, I don't think much changed.
Well, that's different because you know Amrita too.
Yeah,
Like-
I've known Amrita from early days, like third grade, something like that. So yeah, it's odd. It's also
I guess
like
my
it's also hard to say because they were like at the time when they first started dating, Harsha was going to Virginia Tech and she was at UVA, and like although she would visit here and there, like it wasn't nearly as much as it was like later on their relationship. So like from a day to day, like even weekly, like bi-weekly, monthly sometimes, like nothing fucking changed. Like he was just on FaceTime more often than not.
So he kind of lived on FaceTime. Oh yeah.
But did you feel like your friendship ever kind of like dipped a little bit?
Nah. I mean, we're in the same, literally in the same room. Like when you're in the same room with somebody else, you can't escape.
Mm-hmm.
You can't escape. What a great friendship that
crazy,
is.
bro.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like being in a long distance relationship now, it's like, I think it's interesting that you bring it up because like, it feels like at least for me, like I guess like in my relationship, like during the week, we are on FaceTime like pretty much all the time, like after work. And then during the weekend, I'll also call her here and there, but I think the weekend is more set aside for like my social events, which like obviously she cannot be a part of, unfortunately. So sometimes it does feel like because our time together is limited when you're in a long distance relationship, right? So sometimes it feels like, oh, I'm like out for so long on like the Saturday, or like this Saturday is like completely taken up. But I also would like to spend my weekend just chilling with her on FaceTime. So I think there's definitely a balance. But it's a balance, but I think it's also good because I think we both have this expectation where neither of us want to like limit each other's lives in any way. Like I'm not going to be like, hey, let's like watch this Netflix show and I don't want you to go hang out with this person. Like, nah, like that could wait, you know, like it's not, I would rather her hang out with like somebody else over like FaceTime with me. But at the same time, it's like, it's tough to gauge, I guess, sometimes.
That makes sense.
I think also one thing I want to add I think Amrita sacrificed more than I did for our relationship, because I think she was on dance team and she just quit when we started dating, pretty much. She was, I don't have time to like go to practice and comps and also visit me.
Damn.
Which I guess I didn't really understand in the moment,
Damn,
but then I realized like recently, like too recently. But yeah.
You're a lucky man.
Did you thank her after you realized?
I was like, oh, you didn't have to do that.
In that voice too, right?
Yeah, that voice.
Wait, did you actually talk to her about
It's like,
this?
aw.
Yeah, it came up when she was talking about it to somebody else, but I was there. I don't remember.
But did she say like she specifically quit, I guess, like for you in a way? Or was it like just that you made
it was
that
like implied. It was implied, kind of. But
That was nice of her.
Do you think you made that big of a sacrifice? I mean, no. You said she sacrificed more, but what do you think is the biggest sacrifice you made?
Ooh.
Yeah, it doesn't
That's
have
a
to be
good question.
deep. Like it can just
Yeah, and it's not. It
No,
can't
no,
be.
I know,
It can't
I
be
know.
money.
no, I wasn't gonna say money. But
Oh, okay, my bad, man.
I don't know. Actually, maybe I have it. Just kind of bad. I'll think of something. Just,
No.
just
I feel like a relationship is good if you don't have to make any sacrifices. That means things are going well.
Yeah, good for you.
yeah.
Convenient.
Maybe I just need to be like more perceptive or something. Like
Yeah.
maybe I should be doing something.
It'll be a push and pull. Maybe right now she like maybe in the beginning of your relationship she sacrificed something. Once you guys get married and there are things that like are going to be beneficial for her that you may need to sacrifice, that's when you'll step up.
This is so funny
Yeah.
you say that because so like as Harsha was mentioning, Amrita will be living at UIUC like 2 hours away from Chicago, where Harsha would live like in the city of Chicago. And we asked him a while back, like, oh, are you ever gonna go down and visit her? And he's like, nah, fuck that. She's coming every time. What the fuck is there to do down there?
Because she'll have a car and he won't.
Yeah.
And so she's gonna make that drive every time while she's doing her fellowship for her grad degree.
Yeah.
See, this is something to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harsha, you gotta make it up.
It is. Yeah, I've booked some trains to go there.
Oh yeah, okay.
A few.
A few.
Surprised you're not making her just drive you back and then drive back after.
Honestly,
Like, no, babe, it'll be fun for us to spend time together in the car.
I think maybe one of the things I've maybe indirectly sacrificed is like I wanted to go to school, and I was strongly considering going part-time solely. Not solely. One of the reasons is because I wanted an income, and I needed the income to get married. So I think that's one thing. But I also like don't.
That's a big
going to school in the
sacrifice.
evening. Yeah. Also, like, I also didn't really get in anywhere full time, but that's besides the point. But
Who gives a shit?
but I think I decided to do part time, and that's probably one of the reasons subconsciously.
Nice.
Great job, Harsha.
Yeah, you're a lucky guy.
I'm glad I thought of something.
I mean, I can speak from like prior experience. I was definitely one of those people that like you get in a relationship and then you shift all of your focus on that person. Like I've been told like by my friends, like you realize you did the X, Y, and Z, and I was like, no, I didn't even fucking know. So that's definitely something that I've tried to alter, like going forward or like in the past. That it's just like being more aware of like being not necessarily equal, because I actually don't know the answer to your question about which is more valuable to me. I'd like to think that
maybe not even valuable, but like where do you lean toward when you do get in a relationship? Like, do you consciously try to like keep your platonic friendship still like really important?
Yeah.
Or do you just like fall back and just like are susceptible to just prioritizing your relationships over your friendships?
I think like especially when I was a lot younger, I think they made a term for it now called love bombing, where like you like go like do shit like repetitively over and over again, and like you get really close to somebody like really quickly and like do things together like all the time. And like I think that's a description. I've never looked up the description, but I think that's along the lines where you just basically spend like weeks upon time like together like straight after you meet each other or something like that. And like definitely looking back, that is such an unhealthy way to do it. With no, at least for me, maybe it works for some people, but like for me, there's just no balance, especially now that I'm older. And like, you know, like I said, I value my personal time a lot. So I think there's actually even like 3 ways of going about it, like time with like platonic friends, like relationships, and then like self-time. And so I would like to think that I prioritize them both equally, but I think even though I've made alterations, like I would still probably lean more towards a romantic relationship than a platonic relationship. But I've definitely learned a lesson about making sure that it's way more equal than I used to do, because it was
very interesting. I think I can provide like a different perspective, and I'm curious to see, maybe it's from like female perspective versus male perspective. Like I feel like my female friendships fulfill me like on a soul level, like they like fulfill me fully as a person, and like a relationship fulfills me on a relationship basis. Whereas I feel like oftentimes what I've heard with like men, when they get in a relationship, that relationship covers both. Like both aspects. And then the boys are just kind of like the boys. Like if there comes a point where like that relationship ends and they had given everything, it's just like it takes out everything. Whereas like with women, even when they're in a relationship, like they're not going to their significant other for things that will like sustain like their interests or their like, there's certain things that only like female friendships or like certain things that their friendships can provide that like the relationship doesn't.
That makes sense, because I think that's one of the things that I like consciously made a change about, was that I tried to have a lot more platonic female friends, just to like cross that boundary or like that barrier of like, I never had like purposely not had a lot of female friends. Like it just was a circumstance. But as I got older, I like what you said, I value a lot more of my platonic female friendships, because they give me a lot of different perspectives and a lot of different like ways of looking at things that I would never ever think of.
They fulfill you in different ways.
So I think that's part of the change that I talked about, is that making that transition to like, not necessarily like having a 50-50 like split of like, oh, I have to have same number of platonic female friends as I do male friends. But like I definitely have like more confidants that are female platonic friendships and like males, just because I think there's just an easier barrier to entry with that sort of thing. So I think that's
like the emotional
side. That side, and like just being able to be more expressive about things, and like having their with my platonic female friends are definitely way more likely to like not go along with what I'm saying and like tell me something different. So, and a lot of times when I have platonic male friendship discussions, they're just like, yeah, you know, you sound right, or like, you know, whatever, like that kind of thing. So I think that's
good point.
I definitely think that that's been something that's helped me grow a lot.
Very cool.
Ron? Yeah, I mean, I recently got a relationship, also pretty much long distance for almost all of it. And kind of like Tarun was saying, like, I guess like last year when I was living by myself, like pretty much every day was like the same, where we would pretty much video call every night for a couple hours. And I feel like I valued that a lot at the time because I didn't really talk to that many people at school. So like having that comfort was like really good. But looking back, I wish I kind of like also made time for like some of my friends that I didn't keep in touch with for like that year when I was like not in Nova. So I guess like moving forward, like next time I date someone, I think I would like to be more conscious about it, kind of like what Christian was saying.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Very cool. We're all being so mature. Wow.
Yeah, dude, holy shit. We came
this podcast has two moods. Like batshit crazy or super deep and intellectual. No in between.
Yeah.
Let's end on one last question that I see posted in our Notion here. Someone wanted to ask you, out of our Coachella group that had obviously some Virginia people, that being me, Haran, Emily, Vincent, Jackie, Anuj. Who is your
lovely group, by the way?
Yeah.
I thought that was
funny,
also
funny,
that's great.
Funny
that's
you should
great.
say that.
Yeah, because the question is, who's your least favorite out of those people?
You can't put me on the spot like that. True. You can't put me on the spot.
I figured I'd be chosen. It's fine.
No. Honestly, like I was so pleasantly surprised. Like, just for context, for anyone listening, and for I'm sure you guys have already like talked about Coachella a little bit too, but like we had over 22 people, 23 people in one Airbnb, and like 3 different friend groups that kind of came together. So it was like LA group, New York group, and then Nova people. And it somehow miraculously worked out so well.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
Like no BS. Like everyone was super nice. Like there's no drama. Like I was surprised at how close I got to like Jax and like Emily, and like Vincent was such a like vibe too. So cool.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite like highlights remembering was like seeing when we got to the grounds, seeing Vincent and Emily like take photos. It was like that Insta couple, you know. It was so cool to see them. He was like telling her how to pose, and I was I was in awe of that. I was like, okay, you go, you okay. And then Jax was so sweet, like sweetheart. Anuj literally, like, I don't know how he's so positive, dude, all the time.
True to the exact words.
It, like,
True's known him for a while.
It boggles my mind. I'm sure he goes to bed and he's just smiling.
They actually, in college, they used to call him Smiley.
Yeah. He has like resting smiling, like resting happy face. And which I mean, like, it's amazing. Yeah. I wish I could be like that. I feel like I used to be like that, but you know what?
Shit happened.
I played basketball with him in the rain yesterday.
With Nays.
Oh, yeah. That's tough. I played basketball outside with him yesterday in the rain. He was still smiling. He's like in his hoodie. He's like, yeah, this is a great time, guys. We're all having fun. You know? I was like, bro, what the fuck?
We need more people like Anuj.
Like,
we do. The world needs more people like Anuj.
They really do. And then who else is like, Haran? Yeah,
He's alright.
We celebrated his birthday, which is awesome.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the Friday when I
Shut up.
got there. I did not sleep all that night before, and I got there and like I saw everyone, and I don't know if like I was tired or I just like had like a mini panic attack, just like meeting so many people at once. I was just like, I need to go lay down.
Yeah.
But the rest of the weekend was a lot better
of
after that.
For a birthday, for new people, like it was.
Yeah, but I would say everyone in the group was super welcoming, super friendly.
Yeah.
It was really good vibes.
Yeah, it was a great time. I think I loved meeting everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It was so much fun. Would do it again. Maybe in better circumstances if we did like VIP or something. I think that'd be really cool.
Ooh,
I'd be down. Like
Yeah. Great. I think that's a good positive note to end this podcast on.
June, who's your least favorite of the Virginia squad?
Yeah, who's your least favorite out of the other group of people?
He's gonna say you.
You gotta keep me out of it. Keep me out of it.
Yeah.
I have to keep Ron out of it?
Yeah.
All right, so that's all we have time for today.
Yeah. Friendships, like new friendships. I think if we had to summarize all of this, like it's awesome getting to meet new people out of nowhere. Like, I think creating these little moments where we can actually connect.
Yeah.
Like going to Coachella, like New York groups, like people come visiting, like, like just more opportunities for all of us to like connect and, vibe, have a good time.
Yeah.
Like even this podcast, like I feel like me and Christian, we're gonna be homies, like literally like tomorrow. If he comes to New York. Yeah.
No, I feel like it's like also the biggest like green flag where if it's like even like someone you're interested in romantically or just like another friend that you're introducing to someone else, it's like if they all vibe together, it's like this is amazing. This is perfect.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't ask for any more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast.
Of course.
I hope it was entertaining. An interesting discussion.
I don't remember the last time we recorded for 2 hours, so this is a very lengthy podcast for Christian edit. But this lengthy podcast can be found on many different platforms. That includes Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, anywhere you can get media. We also have an Instagram. It's at An Interesting Discussion, where we post episode posts, quote posts, and snippets from our episodes. So definitely check us out there. Guzzy will be posted there. Guzzy, before we leave you today, do you want to leave a message to the world?
To everyone listening, please tune into An Interesting Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. If anything, like I had a great time.
Yeah.
I hope y'all had a great time.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll be back again. Maybe we'll have some more stories. I would love to learn more about everybody. Yeah. Maybe post wedding. That would be really cool. Like
post wedding debrief.
Like,
honestly,
we'll gauge your dancing skills.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
Before we dip, there's a rumor out there that you're an aspiring nail tech. Can you confirm or deny?
I can't confirm nor deny, but I do like to dabble in it. So if you need your nails done, I'm your gal.
All right, that'll be first update on next time Guzzy's on. We'll find out if
there you go.
her career's blossomed or not.
One more thing, I want to echo everything you said. So amazing. But it is at An Interesting Discussion, not An Interesting Podcast. I feel bad, but I just got to clear it up for the viewers. We can't lose any viewers here.
Yeah.
People are like, this is not an interesting podcast.
But yeah, okay, that's gonna be it for today, guys. We'll catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.